A report is based off of 4 different sections: the basic patient information, the history or problem description, the audio tests, and the results, summary, and recommendations. Now let's say I'm an audiologist who has patients fill out paper forms upon coming into my office. The patient then spends several minutes answering questions in the waiting room. When the patient is finished, I'll be able to conduct their test, but I still have to enter all of that data into my software later. However, using this report writing software, I'm able to create a patient portal that allows them to answer the questions through a secure link online. I'm able to create a question list for each type of patient by using templates or question categories for certain complaints that a patient might have. The structure of the patient portal will show up on my website after a patient has clicked Schedule an Appointment. They can enter their basic information and check what they're having trouble with. The templates that I selected for having trouble hearing will be used, and the questions within that template will show up for the patient to answer. My patient can then answer these questions through the secure, HIPAA-compliant website at their own pace while at home, before they come in for the test. My patients love this since they don't have to come into my office and spend several minutes filling out tiresome paperwork. It also saves me a ton of time because after the patient has entered their information and filled out their questions, I can simply look them up in my system, view the appointment they just scheduled, and immediately generate a report. The software automatically fills in the report based on what answers they provided to my questions. And there, even if I had 40 questions to fill out, this part of the report is done, and I haven't had to type anything at all. If I don't need the answers to all of the questions in the report, I will always have the option to hide them. Now, the way that these questions got into the patient portal in the first place was by use of a template. I can create a template and base it off of one or more question categories that apply to different types of patients. I can start by adding in all of the default questions that come with the software to speed up time, or I can add them myself. For this simple patient, I'll use 2 question banks with 2 questions each. Question banks are just an easy way to categorize questions. I can now view the template that I've created, and I may now use that in my patient portal or use it when creating a new report. If a patient wasn't able to use the portal before they came in, I can always create a new report from scratch by importing them from my current practice management software. Upon creating a report from scratch, their information appears in the report already, which is great since I don't have to type it in again. I can then select a question category depending on what the patient is having problems with. If I don't ever use other categories, I can always hide them, which I'll explain in the settings section. Clicking a category gives me the list of questions that is in the system for that category. I can then begin to fill out the report. I can always add or delete a question on the fly if I want. If I know the question is already in the system, but I haven't made it visible in the report, I can simply look it up by category in question bank, then add it to the report. The nice thing about doing this is that if I want to, I can only do it once, since I have the option to add it to all future reports. I can add it to all future reports that use the same template I'm working in, or add it to all future reports that use the hearing loss category at all. For now, I'll just add it to this report only. Creating a brand new question is just as easy in this software. I can choose the type of question, then immediately fill out the options. Now, this part of the software is really crucial in saving me a ton of time from writing out the report. With each question, I can choose to have a predetermined sentence or phrase go into the report based on what the patient answered in the question. I simply use the template words feature and craft my sentence around the multiple choice answer that was selected. I've chosen to state the patient's first name, then say how many concerts they've been to this month, using the answer they already gave me. Now, let's say that for some reason I notice a lot of my patients are having problems after going to concerts. Since this is the case, I'm going to add this question to all future reports that are in this template I'm working in. Now, I'm able to change the order of this question on the fly so that I can ask it and answer it next. Notice how I'm able to match the flow of my patient visit with the flow of the report writing software. Even when there are dozens of questions in here, I will easily be able to set it up so that I never need to scroll down to find another question. The next question I'm going to ask was the question I see. The concept will stand true for the audio tests as well. Now, the settings section is where all of the questions are stored. You can make changes here that apply to all areas of the software. Here are the question categories that are used for different types of patients. I can either use the default ones or create my own custom question categories. While there will be several categories and questions that come default with the software, if I never use them, I can easily hide them from getting in the way of my report by leaving this box unchecked. If I know I'm going to use all or most of these questions inside a specific template, I can do this quickly by selecting them here. I can always add new questions, delete questions, or determine which ones to use in which templates. I can even add them to other question categories if I have questions that overlap. Now onto the audio test. Just like the history section in questions, I can customize which tests go in which report and in what order. I can set this up using the settings and templates exactly like the history section. I can then create my audiogram. The large interface and the large buttons make it easy for me to use on both my desktop and laptop computers, as well as my tablet computer. This software gives me the choice of using high-frequency audio when needed as well. I can copy the left ear to the right ear pattern if I find this easier than clicking through them individually. And of course, if these buttons are getting in my way, I can easily hide them from view whenever I want. I'm then able to quickly click on the graph and create my audiogram. This software is also handy because it will give me a summary of the audio upon finishing, which goes directly into the report. This goes true for all the other audio tests as well, so I can simply run my tests and have the information automatically populated into the report. I've never had to hand type a long report since I've been using this software. Lastly, when my reports are finished, I can view them in the patient profile and email or fax them directly from the software. Upon clicking an old report, I have the ability to see who I've sent the report to, and I can resend it at any time. Thank you for watching this demonstration of the new report writing software for audiologists. I'm currently accepting beta users and would love to have you on board. If you're interested, please don't hesitate to contact me at christayloraudiology@gmail.com. Thanks again.